The world doesn't want you to be strong. It wants you to be predictable, manageable, just uncomfortable enough to keep spending, scrolling and sedating, but never uncomfortable enough to actually change. Every system you live inside, social media, entertainment, even the way ambition is sold to you, is engineered for one thing: your compliance. And the men who figured this out? They didn't post about it. They didn't announce it. They went quiet. They went deep. And they became something most people can't explain and can't defeat. This is not a list of habits. This is not a morning routine. These are the silent rules that govern a different kind of man entirely. Rule 1. Own only what owns you back. Marcus Aurelius commanded the largest empire in the known world. He also wrote in private that he owned nothing worth grieving over losing. That wasn't humility. That was strategy. Every man has a finite amount of psychological bandwidth. The undefeatable man guards it like a vault. He doesn't attach his identity to his car, his title, his follower count, or a woman's approval. Not because those things don't matter, but because the moment they become necessary, they become weapons pointed back at him. Ask yourself, what, if you lost it tomorrow, would break you? That thing owns you. Start there. Rule 2. Control the controllable. Surrender everything else. Epictetus was a slave. No legal rights. No freedom of movement. No certainty of tomorrow. He also became one of the most psychologically free men who ever lived. His entire philosophy rested on one distinction. What is up to you? Your thoughts, your choices, your effort, your response. And what is not up to you? Everything else. Modern men hemorrhage their peace on things outside this circle. Algorithms, other people's opinions, the economy, the past. The undefeatable man doesn't fight what he cannot move. He pours everything into what he can. And because his attention isn't scattered across 100 uncontrollable outcomes, his impact in the controllable space is devastating. Focus isn't a productivity hack. It's a weapon. Rule 3. Love the resistance. Don't tolerate it. Love it. Nietzsche called it amor fati, love of fate, not acceptance, not coping, love. The undefeatable man doesn't just endure obstacles. He understands that the obstacle is the curriculum. Every failure is data. Every betrayal is calibration. Every loss is the chisel shaping what he's becoming. Theodore Roosevelt contracted every illness a child could get. Asthmatic, nearsighted, physically frail. His father told him he had the mind, but needed to build the body. So he did, relentlessly, absurdly. He didn't just survive his limitations. He became defined by what he did with them. Stop asking for easier circumstances. Start asking what these circumstances are building in you. That question changes everything. Rule 4. Silence is a power move. The ancient Spartans had a term, laconism. Say only what is necessary. Not because words are weak, but because over-explanation is a form of submission. When you justify, you seek approval. When you overshare, you beg for understanding. When you react immediately, visibly, emotionally, you hand someone the map to your interior. The undefeatable man speaks less, not because he has nothing to say, but because restraint signals depth, mystery signals power. And the man who doesn't need to be understood by everyone in the room is the one everyone is trying to figure out. In boardrooms, in relationships, in negotiations, silence is rarely weakness. More often, it's the loudest thing in the room. Train yourself to be comfortable with the pause. Rule 5. Build the inner citadel. Marcus Aurelius had a concept he returned to constantly in his private journals: the inner citadel, a fortified place inside the self that no external event could breach. Not invulnerability, not numbness, groundedness. The modern world is a constant siege. Notifications, noise, manufactured urgency. The man with no inner citadel is swept along by all of it. Reactive, anxious, defined by the weather of other people's moods. The man who has built his interior, through reading, discipline, silence, reflection, carries his stability with him. He can walk into chaos and not become it. This is built in the hours no one watches. The early mornings, the books no one suggested, the long walks with no podcasts, the private confrontations with your own weakness. The citadel is built alone, and it protects everything. Rule 6. Let death sharpen you. Roman generals, at the height of their triumph, would ride through the streets while a slave whispered in their ear, "Remember, you are mortal, not as a curse, As a gift, the undefeatable man keeps death visible, not morbidly, but practically. Because the man who forgets he is mortal delays, procrastinates, assumes he has time to become who he intends to be. Conditions will never be right. There is only now, and the certainty that now is shrinking. Every meaningful thing you have left undone, the man you haven't become, the relationship you haven't repaired, the work you haven't started, exists because you forgot Rule 6. Remember, Rule 7. The standard is you yesterday. Nothing else. Social comparison is one of the oldest forms of psychological self-destruction. The Stoics didn't compete with others. They competed with their prior self. They asked one question, with brutal honesty, every single evening. Am I better than I was? Not better than your colleague. Not better than your rival. Not better than the man on the screen. Better than yesterday. This reframes everything. Because when your scoreboard is internal, you never lose by someone else performing well. Their success becomes neutral information. You can even celebrate it. You have no opponent, except the softness you're still carrying. The man who lives by this rule is genuinely undefeatable, because the only way he loses is by his own choice. And that choice is always in the controllable circle. Now, the rule they never tell you. Rule 8. You watched this video looking for the rules. Here's the truth no one wants to say. The rules don't work. Not on their own. Not as information. Every principle in this video has been freely available for 2,000 years. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. Their words survived empires collapsing. And most people who encounter them do nothing. Because knowledge is not transformation. Decision is. The gap between the man you are and the man you could be is not made of missing information. It's made of a decision you keep postponing. A moment where you stop auditioning the idea of discipline and start being it. The Stoics didn't call this a set of tips. They called it a way of life. Something you either live, fully, daily, inconveniently, or you don't. Rule 8 is not a rule. It's a threshold. You either step over it right now, with this video still playing, or you add this to the list of things you found interesting and forgot by Thursday. The undefeatable man isn't waiting for the right moment. He decides. Here. Now. Don't like this video. Don't share it. Do something harder. Decide who you are going to be, starting with what you do in the next hour after this ends. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to be in a room with men who take these principles seriously and actually apply them, subscribe. Join the modern Stoa. We're building something here that most people won't understand. And that's exactly the point.